France pledges to ban conversion therapy and improve LGBTQ+ education.
Here's a summary of the article.
The 42-point plan comes as France is dealing with a rise in hate crime against the LGBTQ+ community. In one incident last month, a 27-year-old dancer, Mohammed, was beaten up by a homophobic Uber driver after standing up for himself. Recounting the attack, Mohammed explained that he and a friend were returning from a party, and discussing a boy that he had been flirting with. This conversation infuriated the driver, who began to throw homophobic insults, that he did not want a queer in his car. When Mohammed stood up for himself and asserted his pride in his LGBTQ+ identity, the driver threw 2 punches at him, knocking him onto a car that had stopped to help. Mohammed was taken to hospital where he received 5 stitches to the face, was informed that he had suffered head trauma and was prescribed 10 days off of work. In a statement, Uber France has said it's profoundly regretful about the attack, and that is cooperating with law enforcement in order to find the driver responsible. When there's a complaint and a criminal investigation, we systematically suspend the driver, they said.
This post received a score of 51,000, with an upvote ratio of 83%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
French here, I had no idea conversion therapies were even still a thing here.
Same. All think twice before mocking Americans next time.
Only 20 states in the U.S. have even banned gay conversion therapy for minors. It seems only D.C. and Puerto Rico have blanket bans on it. And more importantly, conversion therapy was never nearly as widespread in Europe. So the U.S. isn't exactly way ahead of the curve here.
Interesting that the 2 places with blanket bans are not actually states.
D.C. makes some sense, it's essentially a city, and I think there are some cities that have blanket bans. Puerto Rico is quite interesting though.
As a Puerto Rican, I didn't know that. That's really interesting, especially knowing how big an import religion is here. I grew up in a huge Christian family.
TBH, people live their religions differently. There are some parts of the world that are highly religious and somewhat liberal at the same time.
Well, the Pope just said that being gay is cool with the church, even the clergy can be liberal smiley face.
American evangelicals and their science versus religion are so weird to me. The Vatican has been pro-science for a very long time now, and they even have their own modern distinguished clergy scientists and astronomers.
Nobody. Illustration for any article about France, Eiffel Tower.
For real, it's like if we put the Statue of Liberty or Big Macs for any article about the US.
The French made the Statue of Liberty as well.
Even wilder, while Auguste Bartholdi was its architect, the Statue of Liberty structure was engineered by Gustave Eiffel himself.
That's actually nice. A lot of shit happen in the world, but overall it's going in the right direction. I don't think there were a single period of time in history where we advanced this fast.
The good news as well is that in the US at least, same-sex marriage has reached levels of support around 65 to 70%. It's amazing to me even thinking back to the early 2010s and how much public attitude has shifted around gay and lesbian people and same-sex marriage.
Amazing what you can do when deconstructing stubborn stereotypes.
I really do think that positive media and exposure on an individual level can help quite a bit.
But I don't want to see gays in my TV shows or video games. Some positive news for a change. Good job, France.
Just to keep it real and inform people about how absolutely fucked up conversion therapy is, there is a webcomic by a Redditor which describes a place called Elan School which, while not strictly for gender conversion, completely illustrates the type of extreme behavior modification techniques used in these places, because no matter how bad you imagined it was in your head, it is so much fucking worse than that. It is scary to think that any places like this still exist. Elan was only closed in 2011 and they weren't even shut down officially. These types of behavior modification techniques should be seen as crimes against humanity, and no, I am not exaggerating or being overdramatic.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.